for that first year, I healed like lifelong health issues. I had stomach issues. I had autoimmune stuff. I had skin, weird stuff with my skin. I had acid reflux since I was like in middle school that they couldn't understand what was wrong with me. So I had been searching so long for a diagnosis. I had been doing all the food sensitivity tests and all this crazy stuff. And within a week of finding out I was a projector, it was gone and it has not come back. So for me, the first thing you got to do, and the first thing I did, was just let yourself fucking relax and love yourself when you're doing it. I used to sit down on the couch and try to relax, and my mind would be like, "You're lazy. You should be doing something." So it's not really resting. I was never really relaxing. I was in a constant state of stress because my mind was, like you said earlier, was not in alignment with my physical vehicle. So it creates this dissonance, which creates stress, which perpetuates this loop of my body's fighting itself or fighting the other half of me. So that was the first thing I did, was just to allow myself to relax for the first time and start to heal these health issues that I had.
How did you start to, so after about a year, were you starting to get like a itch to do something? And you're saying, don't listen to your mind, listen to
listen to the body.
And how did you like hear your body?
Yeah. So that's a great question, because that's exactly what happened. After about a year, I'm like getting bored. Like I feel an energy start to like come alive. It's who I am started to want to express itself for the first time, because when you're operating from the mind, you're really not allowing the natural expression of you just come out, which is so natural. It's easy, but you're just piling on and getting in your own way. So after about a year of healing myself, I started to come alive for the first time and start to figure out who I actually was. And then I started really sharing about human design and how it's like, wow, this is really life-changing. And I never had an idea that I was going to be talking about this or teaching it or giving readings, or my mind was actually telling me, you're never going to get a reading. This is fucking weird. You're not this guy. This isn't a thing for you. But it's interesting, so we can keep talking about it. And then, fast forward, here I am doing it just because it completely lights me up, and I'm a great teacher at it. And it's just materialized. It's like I've just watched my life start to unfold in a way that I can't comprehend. And I don't plan, and I still think it's weird.
Which seems to be the MO for projectors.
Totally.
Right? Yeah. Kind of like you have to be invited. It's like this thing is inviting you into the life.
Sure.
It's funny. Mary and I were laughing about, you went to a projector dinner. It was like a bunch of projectors. Yeah. We were like, who sent the invites? They can't invite. Like they have to be invited to things.
We can invite each other.
Oh, is that the rule?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's no, so between types, the reason we have to wait for the invitation is because if I deal with you or with you, and you don't want my advice, my aura can be really penetrating. Projectors, we call the not self when you're operating not who you are, you're operating out of the mind. Not self projectors love giving unsolicited advice because we see things and we want to, our life is like, let me fix you.
Right.
Let me help you be more efficient. And if you're not invited, people are like, fuck, get out of here. Fuck you. I didn't ask for that. I don't want to be seen in that way. So that's kind of like the MO for not self projectors. But between projector to projector, our auras are the same. We penetrate at the same level. Yeah. So we can go deep with each other. It's not weird because we have the similar experience of life.
Yeah.
So between us, it's like we're both seeing each other at in such a deep way that the invitation isn't as important as it is with an energy type.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Sounds like we're talking about Pokemon.
I love it.
He's an energy type.
It does.
I'm electric. He's fire.
Okay, talk about manifestor. He's a manifestor. Yeah. And then people listening, there's probably a bunch of manifestors.
9% of them.
9% of them.
Not that many. Yeah.
So how does he gets energy by making an impact.
Yeah.
So what would that be? Like examples for manifestors to think about this in their life.
Yeah. So I really love the question. We each have an existential question that drives our existence. So Tony could be very much like, what kind of legacy do I want to leave in this world? How do I really want to impact it? How do I want to impact people? And we say that they have these kind of creative urges where manifestors are really here to bring something big and new into the world. And the resistance that they run into typically is that their ideas are huge and they're really scary. And they may even like tone them down to try to make it make sense to people, or to try to seem like, I don't think I'm too big, or, something like that. So I always tell manifestors, like, you really have to go after the thing that scares you the most. And the manifestor is the only true initiator, where their life isn't really dependent on anybody else. They're extremely independent creatures. They're kind of like a wild animal that's inside of there that does not like being controlled. So the worst thing you can do for a manifestor is try to tell them what to do. It's like, forget about it. You don't control me. I'm an independent, powerful creature here, So they're extremely independent, and they're meant to bring these big ideas into the world. They meet resistance because of their impact if they don't inform people what they're going to do before they do it. This is kind of the biggest resistance that manifestors will meet. So their strategy of like, how do I make everybody else chill out, is called informing, which is just, I know, okay, let me take inventory of when I do this action, who is it going to impact in my life? Okay. And of those people, who is it important for me to let them in on this before I do it, so that they don't freak out or they don't give me shit after it's already done. So this is kind of like the strategy of the manifestor, which never feels natural or normal for them just because they're independent creatures.
You're saying that we should be informing
as
people.
Much as
that feels very foreign to me. Yeah. And I get mad when people say, you should have told me about this.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck you. I don't need to tell you shit. Fuck off.
So
that makes a lot of sense.
What's an example? Like, what would be an example for you? Can you think of where someone was like, oh, you didn't tell me?
I mean, I feel like it happens more in relationships. Like sometimes with Mary, and I wasn't yelling at you, Mary, just relax. But like,
because you're super independent and you've always done your own thing, so you're not used to telling somebody.
I'm just used to doing shit.
You're independent.
So like, and societally, there's a voice in my head that's like, oh, you should tell people what you're doing. So maybe that's like my inner manifestor that's like, hey, informing is your thing you're supposed to do. It's like, hey, maybe you should tell people. But then I think like, is that just an external voice telling me that I should be telling people, or like that person telling me I should be telling people? And I understand the value of informing people because it is impacting someone in some particular way. So it makes perfect sense, but it's unnatural to me. So I'm like, I'm just moving about my life. Like, I'll give you a specific example. I stayed at Mary's house, which is also kind of your house now. And we were watching Severance, final episode, crazy. And I wasn't planning on staying the night because I wanted to get a good night's sleep. And I was like, okay, I'm going to leave, bye. And she was like, well, I thought you were staying the night. And it's like that led to, I didn't inform her.
Yeah.
So there's a small example, right? But to me, I didn't even think about it. I'm like, I'm just here, and then I'm going to go home. Yeah. Right. And that's a small thing, but it can impact people. Okay, see, when you were saying the thing about thinking big, here's my take on it. I personally feel like I don't think very big. I feel like I think pretty fucking small. My goals and my dreams and aspirations, I feel like they're tiny in comparison to other people's dreams, goals, and aspirations. So then what I've been trying to do recently is like, how do I think bigger? How do I be more creative on bigger visions? I feel like Brent has huge visions in comparison. And I'm like, I'm just kind of doing some shit for like next year, right? I'm not thinking 40 years down the line. So my visions and dreams and goals are really not massive. And I also feel some shame around it. So maybe that's something around the manifestor that needs big dreams. Like I should be thinking bigger than I am, but I've been possibly conditioned by society or by myself or whatever. Things have gone on in my life that I don't think very big.
I think I have this is one possible thought I have.
What's your theory?
Is based on what he's saying. He thought he was one thing, and he couldn't figure that thing out until he had a lot of space, and then he had space to let that thing come out of him because he could be in alignment with the type of person he is. And because you have a job where it's like, you don't have any space to do that. Like you don't. You have to be in kind of like work for somebody and 100% focus on it. So how can you really dream?
Yeah.
Like you don't really have the space to do it.
No.
So like he took a year off and then all of a sudden it came out of him. So it's like, I imagine if we ever get to a place where we're, making passive income where we do have space, I think it could show. Like if you go to like 3 different festivals and you got time off and you could travel more and chill, like ideas might start really coming.
Yeah, ideas do come up more, and I feel more in my creative flow when I have space. It's 100% accurate. Just like we were just talking about with Rebecca, like you have to have the energy and invigoration, but like around people, but then you also have to have the space to process it. And if you only have one or the other, then you're missing both components.